Alright, I don't know if I have a regular save or if I made the other kind of save. Let me see. A warm welcome? No, that's incorrect. Then let me go ahead and get the other kind of save going. Because we're past a warm welcome. We finished that. It should be like on the doorstep or some such thing. Moment here. I like the music in this game. Let's see. May 15th? That sounds right. Here we are. Okay. Alright. Looks like I don't actually need any of this. I could get Waters of Vigor. Well, actually, I'm out of money, but it looks like I already bought everything I'd need to buy. So let's continue onwards.
The people of Lake Town said farewell as the dwarves set out for the Lonely Mountain. They passed through the lands destroyed by the dragon.
The desolation of Smaug. He said the thing.
High in the mountain, Bilbo saw a thrush cracking snails. Then, as the sun set on the last night of Durin's day, Bilbo saw a keyhole appear in the side of the mountain and called for the dwarves. They opened the secret passage into Smaug's lair.
What's interesting is this is all very correct. That it was Durin's Day, which is a holiday. This is inside information. That's what it is. It was Durin's Day, which is a very important holiday for the dwarves, and the sun had to hit it just right, and there was a whole puzzle behind it when the thrush knocks. Wait, let's let Thorin speak.
Mr. Baggins to earn his reward.
And then I'll talk more about it.
Enter the dragon's lair. Bring me the golden cup of Thror.
Golden cup of Thror.
I suspect he will not be pleased to meet you.
Alright, so let's speak about this. There's a bird, not so much of a lonely mountain. Well, it's called the Lonely Mountain because there's no other mountains around it. It's a single mountain sort of in the middle of this wilderness. But anyway, and I want to talk about what Thorin said as well because it's a little weird. Sometimes what these adaptations do is they wind up attaching far more importance to things than they ought to have. We saw it especially with the Peter Jackson version of The Hobbit, where the Arkenstone was not just this shiny jewel that Thorin had a liking for. It had to, a whole ridiculous history behind it, But anyway, the game is very correct about it having to be a certain time of day. When the thrush knocks, because it was like right at sundown, and the thrush is having its evening meal by knocking snails against a rock to break the shells so it could eat the snails. But what it's interesting is that it didn't set that up, because that was something that was interesting. The map of the Lonely Mountain, the key. They didn't really talk about the key until just now. Thorin's father, Thrain, had the map and the key on him, and he was actually captured by Sauron. And Sauron kept him in his dungeons. He took his ring of power, and then he just left him in the dungeon to rot because he didn't care about anything else. He didn't care about the map or the key or any dragons or treasure or anything like that. He just wanted one of the rings back. And Gandalf found him there and realized that the necromancer was Sauron because only Sauron would take the ring and nothing else. Of course, he already suspected that, and Thrain died shortly after that. And Thrain wanted Gandalf to give the map and the key to his son, but he died before he could tell him who he actually was and who his son was, so it took quite a while for Gandalf to find Thorin and to realize that the map and the key belonged to him. But the map actually had what are called moon letters on it, which is sort of like invisible ink, and the letters would only show up under the light of a moon, and Elrond noticed the moon letters, and that gave the riddle about the thrush and Durin's Day and everything. Now, what he said here, he wanted me to go in there to specifically get the Cup of Thror. Hey, Alice. Now, this is interesting because in the book, what happens is that Thorin tells him, go in there and see what the deal is. He doesn't say, bring back the Cup of Thror. Bilbo goes in, he doesn't wake the dragon, he steals a golden cup to prove that there is treasure in there. And it was never said to be the Cup of Thor or anything, so the game is sort of attaching a little bit of extra significance to something that was not all that significant in the book itself. Thor is Thorin's grandfather, Thrain's father. It's going really well. I'm still full from earlier, though. We had another one of our sushi meals, right? Let me talk to the dwarves before I head in there.
You can do this, Bilbo. You are the bravest of us all.
That's Balin, okay. What Balin's saying here is true to the feeling of the, not to be confused with Moongates from Ultima, exactly. It's very true to the feeling of the book, where by this point, they all sort of think Bilbo's great. At the beginning, it was Confusticate, that dratted hobbit, and at the end, it's, hey, you know, this guy's great. All right.
You've come
Hey,
a
Gloin.
long way, Hobbit. I didn't think you had it in you.
The hot pot was extremely spicy. It was a Chongqing hot pot, which is was a sort of a Szechuan pepper. It was good, but after I put a few different things in it. After a while, everything just started to taste like fire, and I just wanted to eat more sushi. But it was interesting. I think next time, if I do get hot pot next time, which I'm not sure of, I would try a different flavor, because it was a little bit of it went a long way. Here's Oin.
It's you, Bilbo.
No. Oh, I actually kind of missed what Gloin said. Let's
You've come a long way, Hobbit.
taste like burning,
I
exactly.
didn't think you had it in you. Be careful now.
Gloin's being honest. Gloin, out of all of them, sort of looked at Bilbo as sort of like, what is this guy, He was the one that said he looks more like a grocer than a burglar.
You're the finest burglar in the business.
You're damn right, Dory, you're damn right.
Remember, stay away from his wings, and claws, and tail, and mouth.
You should stay away from all of that.
I'm quaking in my boots. Truly, I don't know how you're going to do it.
I think Beaufort might be the least developed dwarf out of all of them.
Use that ring of yours, Baggins. You'll need all the help you can get.
What are you having for dinner, Alice?
Whatever you do,
There's Killy.
don't look him in the eyes. You could fall under his dragon spell.
So this is actually... Okay, so that's not a line from the book, but there is actually lore to back that up, that dragons could sort of fascinate a person with their eyes, and that's actually what happened in the Children of Húrin, where Túrin's sister was put under a spell by the dragon Glaurung that erased her memories, and that was done by looking into his eyes. It should be Killy.
Be careful.
Oh,
Bilbo.
Philly. The other one was Killy.
Dragons are not to be underestimated.
Has anybody ever underestimated a dragon?
It's time for serious
Draylin.
work. Good luck to you.
All right. Bombur.
Just thinking of that dragon makes me lose my appetite.
Everything's about food with Bombur. And we'll talk to Thorin one last time before we head in.
Must enter the dragon's lair. Bring me the golden cup of Thor.
Yeah.
Be careful not to wake the dragon. I suspect he will not be pleased to meet you.
Catfish strips, fried chicken, fries, chicken and rice, collards, black-eyed peas, and that is a lot of food, but it sounds delicious. Then again, like I said, the meal that I had earlier was, well, you saw the pictures. It's a save point. That sounds like that's not a meal. It's a feast, is what that is. Sounds delicious, though. Haven't had catfish in a good while. I was thinking it might be good to get some fried catfish and make, like, fish tacos. So we actually kind of practiced for this earlier in the level with the trolls, where you had to be stealthy.
If ever I am to prove my worth as a burglar, it is now.
You had a light lunch, yeah. I didn't even have dinner. That 1 p.m. lunch, that's... I'll have something a little bit later, probably, just to nosh on. But,
Smaug. And Thorin's golden cup is right underneath his nose.
no, that is where it was. Alright. Watch Smaug's alertness meter. Yep. We don't want him waking up. Although the alertness meter is not on the screen right now, probably because I'm not very close to him. Oh, there it is. So it's best to avoid stepping on the coins, because that makes Bomber's already up there. Yeah, there's a few... I'm running the game in widescreen, so sometimes you see assets for later levels that are just hidden outside of view. That's a good catch there. Oh, jeez, I should have hit that. Alright, so...
Not walk on those gold coins. Too much noise and old Smaug will roast me.
Yeah, so you don't want to walk on the coins more than you have to, because they make noise. Okay. Oh god. Oh, I was sliding on it. I didn't mean to slide on it. I was trying to get to the top of that, but it looks like I did collect the courage point that was on there. You only have to be, like, close to it. Oh god. Alright, we got some money. I would need my stick to jump over there, but... Let's see, is that what I want to do, though? Kinda not, actually. Yeah, that was a mistake. Hey, it's Amian. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. That was a very close one. Alright, let's see if we can... Alright, we're good. I just have to find the path that I need to go on. Probably do need to go on that, actually. I'm reminded of we did that on stream. We did that Power Wash Simulator where we had the Shrek levels, and there was a level. I don't know. I never watched much of the Shrek movies, but there was a level that looked like this, and I think they were trying to make it like Smaug's Lair, you know. The people who complain about Oblivion should do the lockpick. Yeah, well, the lockpicking in this is actually the minigame is, in my opinion, very reminiscent of. I think if I wait for his tail to move. Of oh, I touched him. Of BioShock 2. So that it's very unforgiving. Well, that was a fail. Let's try that again. Oh, wrong way. That's back outside. Okay. I feel like this tunnel should be a lot steeper, like it should be going downwards. It looks like this makes it seem like Smaug is level with the door, which is not the case in the book. So I kind of got past his tail, but I didn't jump long enough. Sam Adams Summer Ale? Is that good? I've never had Sam Adams. I don't like games after 2010 or some other daft Arthur C. Clarke thing. How's it going, Medio? There really are people who say things like that, you know, and I'm always like, you're missing out, but that's your prerogative, right? Oh! Alright, so I think we jump to the chain, and then we get up on there.
I'd better not walk on those
that's not...
Too much
that was a bad jump.
Smaug will roast me.
It's pretty good, yeah. Oh boy. Alright, so I think what I want to do is I do want to jump to that platform, but I didn't long jump. I kind of hopped. I need to long jump when his tail is up. That worked. Alright. There's a treasure over here. Let's see if I can... Oh, boy. Alright, and that's a save point, so we'll use that. It's a wheat beer. Oh, I do like wheat beer. Okay. It feels like a very Hobbit thing to like, right? Like, I feel like Hobbit beer would be wheat beer. That's just... I don't know if that's true. They always just said beer. They never said what specific type. Whenever they talked about what the Hobbits drink, but I feel like it would be a wheat beer. Alright. Come on, Bilbo. There's no need to have Sting out for this level, because we're not going to fight anything. Okay. It's going well. Is there a reason to go this way? Yes, there is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm bad at this. How am I... I deserve that. I don't know how I missed it like 5 times in a row there. Well, it wasn't 5, but still. And I suspected that was the last one. Alright. Okay. You've always imagined it as a brown air. Now that... Oh, you know, that could be... There might be something to that, actually. You know, it probably would have been whatever specific type of beer Tolkien himself preferred, since he did sort of see himself as a hobbit. He said that he loved simple foods and mushrooms and things like that, and I suppose he must have liked to be barefoot quite a bit. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Alright, there we go. Whole bunch of money over here, and watch the coins, Bilbo. I mean, you know, actually, with how important beer is to Hobbit culture, I would estimate that they actually probably do have multiple types, right? I just wanted to get that courage point there. Alright. Well, they don't drink all day, just with every meal. Which is what? No more than 6 times a day, right? Am I going up? Ooh, it looks like I am. Okay. That opened that up. Okay, so that's related to a few of the dwarfs. The dwarves want specific things. I'm not worried about that just yet. Oh, that is... Well, I landed by the save point. I misjudged the distance there. Hey, Alucard, how's it going? Is it just you? Has anyone been feeling depressed this month? Well, I'm sorry if you're feeling poorly. I can't say that I have, but I'm sure there are other people. I know Flower has been struggling, so there's that. I wonder at what age the hobbits do start to drink beer. Because although they come at age of 33, it did seem that Pippin was no stranger to beer. And he was only 28 years old. So I feel like... coming of age and drinking beer are 2 separate issues for them. Ordinary, bitter, and common ale. It's all very possible, you know. Yeah, you have been doing pretty good despite all the, you know, I mean, you went through a lot. I mean, the thing about depression is it doesn't need a reason. You know, obviously sometimes you'd be very depressed and you would have a reason to be depressed. But sometimes it just happens, you know. You just get the blues and you feel very poorly and you don't know why. And people will say very ignorant things to you, like, well, what do you have to be depressed about? You know. And that's when you wring their necks. You probably shouldn't do that. Well, I nailed that one. Alright. This is just for money and experience points, but... Oh boy. I am pretty close to a level up, though. The blue bar is almost all the way filled. I'm just gonna grab it. Alright, we'll stay here and wait for the dragon to calm down a bit. Your mom told you that? Like, what do you have to be depressed about? Yeah. It's an ignorant statement. Okay, going that way didn't actually seem to help me that much. It seems I probably want to go back that way. So let me kind of... Watch out. Oh, Bilbo. Oh, no. That went badly. Oh, how did he wake up? Alright. We alright. Toast. Toasty! He just... I was standing on the thing. I wasn't even standing on coins, and he just destroyed me. Alright. I'm gonna go to get this, but... Well, I should get as many of the courage points as I want, because like I said, I am close to a level up. Although it doesn't actually matter if you miss courage points in this, because in the last level there's a part where there's an infinite number of very weak orcs that you could kill, and you just keep doing that and gain as many levels as you want. Wow. You know, those IPs, they change every once in a while, Alucard, so watch out. You don't have to worry about that. Sometimes just resetting your modem will change your IP. It does seem that when he's close to waking up... Uh-oh. You really don't want to move at all. Alright. Be careful. Alright. I'm not going to take that upper path. Well, I might need to because it opened a door. Yeah, I think I need to take that upper path, actually. Oh, no. Alright. Yeah, I when I heard that, I thought, oh, it's gonna be really rough for you. How do I feel about Rings of Power? What's interesting, because, you know, there was sort of a lot of people having very strong opinions for it. And, you know, I went into it with absolutely none of that. And I remember that, you know, me and Alice there, we both watched it around the same time. And I'm going to save it after this so that I don't have to do this part again. And what was interesting was that we had kind of the same opinion of the first season, where it was certainly entertaining and certainly not very much to do with the source material in terms of accuracy, but at the same time it doesn't really have to be accurate. I felt that the costumes were pretty poor. That was my main complaint. I did not like the costumes at all, and I felt that, you know, there was a lot of like sort of room for improvement, Gentry, but I feel like they did improve it in the second season. And I'm hoping that by, let me save this here. Continuing along that, they got rid of some of the characters that I didn't like. They introduced some characters that I do like. I'm curious to see, well, at least I saved it. I did the same exact thing as last time. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whoa! Okay, there we go. Oh! Well, hopefully nobody wants to do anything with that information. This actually does look like it's going to go where I need it to go, so watch out. I didn't realize that was moving. Whoa. Bilbo didn't go through all this, by the way. You know, it just occurred to me that, like, if he's getting very alert, I could always just put the ring on. Alright, so this should put me right down where the cup is. Oh, we're being raided! We're being raided by Scottish Maiden. Hey, how is it going?
Give it to us.
Thank you for the raid. Alright, I think I gotta jump. I don't want to land on his head. Jump. Okay, it worked. His head is right there. But isn't the cup near his head? I don't see it now. Welcome in everybody that came in from Scottish Maiden's Raid. You guys know who I am probably, but if you don't, I'm on Twitch, I'm NecroVMX. On YouTube, where I'm also streaming, I'm John Sierra Tolkien Scholar, and we're playing The Hobbit. And there's the dragon. there's Smaug. You know, during the cutscene, they showed that the cup was right by his head. Oh, it is right there. I could just grab that now, can't I? Huh? Alright, we got it. It looks like old vanilla World of Warcraft. Yeah. Well, I feel like the second season was starting to Gentry get to something that might become spectacular if they continue in that direction. I'm certainly hoping so. Alright, thank you for the follow. Yeah, this is on the GameCube. I'm playing this, by the way, for anyone who's wondering. And thank you for the people that are following. All right, we got the cup. Now we got to get out of here alive. Oh, let me save it. This is where I save the game. Reminds you of those dragon scholars from Dragon Quest XI? Oh, I think the coloring, yes, absolutely. Nyan Cat's song was a Vocaloid song called Nyan 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 Nyan. Yep, I actually knew that. Believe it or not, I actually knew that. Alright, there's a treasure chest over there I guess I could get. We gotta get out of here safe now. We got the cup, we gotta go back to where Thorin is. Lock picking, lock picking. Oh! Why am I so low health right now? I need to heal. Man. Let me heal up. Oh, how do I do that again? Here we are. Okay, heal. Oh, that's not the heal, that's the heal. Let me use 2 of those. I just realized I was really low health, probably from that drop that I took. Alright, so... What? Oh god, Bilbo! Alright, he's okay, he's okay. He survived! What the? Oh, I could push this. Let's push this. But, yeah, the second season of it... Oh, he heard me. Alright, let me load my save. Alright, we just got toasted. By the way, what you're seeing on his chest there, that's very accurate to the book, and something that they completely missed out on in the films, is that he has this, basically, armor of gems and silver and gold from sleeping on it for so long, and there's just this one bare patch, and that's where he gets shot by an arrow later. You know what? I actually don't need to... Oh god. I'm cooked. I was gonna say that I don't need to heal because there's no combat in this level, and I shouldn't need to drop again, but then again, you lose health when you fail a lockpick, so big mistake there. Oh my god. You know what? I'm not gonna open the chests. There's not much reason to. At this point in the game, I have plenty of potions and stuff. We're not gonna open that chest. Okay. This is not the right way to go, but that is. Oh, come on, Bilbo. I could always put the ring on to make the meter go down faster. Sometimes I forget that I have the one ring. That's where I gotta go. I gotta wait for his wing to be... Right, wait, go. I'm basically just exiting the way I came. Alright, we're close. We're close. Oh, there's a chest down there, too. I'm not going to bother with it, just because I'm low health. Let's go out and bring Thorin his grandfather's cup. And I don't mean an athletics supporter. I should probably save it. Don't tell Bilbo where he came. Well, you know. I will tell you that for going back to the TV show, the standout performance for me was Ben Daniels playing. He was only in the second season, and he wasn't in enough episodes, in my opinion, playing Círdan. Great version of Círdan.
Thieves! Fire! Murder!
This is indeed the cup of my...
They sort of skip over a large portion of the story
Bilbo has
here.
courage
I'll
and
explain it in a
resource far
bit.
exceeding his size, and good luck far exceeding the usual allowance. All of our trials have led to this moment. Now we slay the dragon Smaug, and our home and treasure regain.
And how do we do that? You have no plan.
No plan whatsoever. No idea.
Well, every worm has his weak spot, as my father used to say. Though, not
Balbo
from
said that?
personal experience. Well, I suppose I could have a look. I do have this ring, after all. I'll creep down to the dragon's lair and see what I can see.
Excellent plan, Bilbo. Good luck.
And that's going to be enough for a level up. That's why I didn't bother healing. Let's talk to them again.
Oh, good work, Bilbo.
I knew you had it in you, Bilbo. Good work.
I can't believe you did it! You really did it! If only we knew how to get rid of this beast.
You, didn't happen to slay the beast while you were down there, did you?
Yep, I got him good. Why don't you go down there and find out?
Well done, Baggins. Well done.
They're not saying anything all that interesting, unfortunately.
You made it! You will live long in dwarf songs, Bilbo Baggins.
I feel like out of all the dwarves, Dory was probably, like, his best friend.
You hobbits are truly astounding.
Cups and jewels are one thing. We still have a dragon to contend with.
And Balin.
Never doubted you for a second.
Maybe for a second. So, you know, in the book, it's sort of a little bit differently. Like, basically, this is how it goes. Bilbo goes down and he gets the cup, and he brings it back, and then he goes down again, and this time he actually speaks to Smaug. But he has the one ring on, so Smaug can't, you know, see him. And, you know, they have a conversation, and this is where he finds out about the weak point, where he's not armored. And that, of course, does lead to the destruction of the dragon. But what's interesting, and I talked about this earlier, is that when Bilbo comes out of the mountain and tells them about the weak spot, they're sort of like, well, what are we going to do about that? Your friend's name was Brian Wilson? That's interesting. I'm supposing no relation to the guy from the Beach Boys. Oh, I was going to save it there, too. He does eat the ponies, yes. I really like Smaug's voice in this game.
Come into the light, where I can get a look at you.
A haunted plush? What makes you think it's haunted? Oh, hold on. Somebody just texted me. Although that might be Laurel. I don't have my phone on me, but I can look at it from my computer. One moment just to see if that's anything. Oh, yeah, it's just Laurel. Give me the thumbs up. She might be coming by. All right, back to the game. Oh, don't start with that Tails doll nonsense. Yeah, Smaug does eat the ponies. And it would have been before this. Let's put the ring on. All right. I really like Smaug's voice in this.
I might be able to find a weak spot if I could just get high enough to get a good look at him.
High up. How would that help you see under him?
Ring on. Perhaps he won't see me.
So this part's very different, obviously. He got Smaug to show his belly by basically sort of tricking him. Now, the ring does have a recharge, so we can't have it on constantly.
Show yourself, thief.
Oh. I can't believe I did that. Oh, you're joking. I got you. Let's try that again. It's better to have the staff out for this than the sword, since we can use this to vault.
Show yourself, thief.
Gotta find a spot where I can let the ring recharge. So this is the Metal Gear Bilbo part of the game. Wait, hold on. Oh. I think I was supposed to go that way, though. Yeah. Should be safe here because of the pillars. Alright. So yeah, he would have eaten the ponies previous to this. Oh, that chain isn't there anymore, so I can't do that. His claw's right there. Obviously, if you touch any part of him, that's a game over. I might have to just do this.
You shall not see the light of day.
No, I'm gonna run out of ring power in a moment. Okay, there we go. Unfortunately, if you notice, he puts the stick away when he's got the ring on, so I can't seem to long jump there, but let's save it here. I remember this part being pretty difficult. What's interesting is that the final level of the game, which is the Battle of Five Armies, although it's called the Cloud's Burst, which was the name of the chapter in the book, is actually not that hard.
I smell you, thief.
I missed the friggin'... I missed the rope. Whoop. I missed the rope. Let the ring charge up. So yeah, Bilbo getting up high doesn't make sense to see the... I have to take the ring off. Just kind of hope for the best. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to see his weak point. Alright, I'm above him now, so there's not much chance of him seeing me. Oh, here we go.
There is plenty and to spare.
No, thank you, oh Smaug the Tremendous. I only wish to see if you were as great as all the tales say.
You have nice manners for a thief. You seem to know me. But I don't remember smelling you before.
I am the clue finder, the web cutter, the barrel rider, and the ring winner.
Ooh, lovely titles. But my teeth are swords. My scales are shields.
All dialogue from the book.
And my breath,
death.
You know, I've always understood that dragons were soft underneath.
You think his voice sounds familiar? I don't know who plays him, but I love the Smaug voice in this. It sounds so good.
Dazzling. Perfect. Flawless.
No blade can cut me, nor arrow pierce me.
Old fool. There's an empty patch on his chest, as bare as a snail out of its shell.
What was that?
Well, I really must not detain your magnificence.
This game was
any
really
longer.
good, yeah. Welcome in, RPG Rakuzen.
Leaving so soon, Barrel Rider. Going back to those miserable tub-trading lake men?
You said too much, Bilbo.
Burglar! Thieving lake man!
And that's why he goes and destroys Esgaroth. Alright. Listen for Smaug's roar to time his attacks. Hide behind the debris to avoid his fire. Alright. This is the part that I remember being very difficult. Thankfully, there's a save point right here. Barrel Rider! Alright, go, go, go. Hang on. If Smaug got the ring, would it expand to fit him? I do think so, yes. I do think it would have, yes. A lot of experience points. This is not as hard as I remember it being, but that's famous last words. You remember that the ring was made for Sauron's hand, but it got smaller to fit on Hobbit hands, so... Here he comes, here he comes. We're good, we're good. I'm almost for another level up. Those white gems are worth quite a lot. Alright, there we go. Wow, I did that pretty much in one shot, right? Wow. I remember that being much harder.
Told them all about the hollow spot on the dragon's chest.
The last time I played this, I didn't have two chats to look at.
And then flew away toward Lake Town. Suddenly, the wind howled. They barely made it into the secret passage before the dragon smashed the mountainside. Bilbo
I don't think that
dwarves
Smaug would understand what the ring is or what it's capable of, though. The Balrog would have understood it. That would have been really dangerous if the Balrog in the Fellowship of the Ring got his hands on that. So overall, so far, this part of the game pretty accurate to the book, pretty following it very closely. More so than... What if the trolls got it? Nah, the trolls were very dumb.
Before the dragon returns.
They would have just thought it was a ring.
Get us across that
They would have fought over it, though. Okay, so I believe in this section, you're supposed to go down there and just make your way to the bottom to flip a switch and then come back up. It's pretty hard. But there's also all these little side quests that you could do for the dwarves.
We must leave this place before the dragon returns. Get us across that chasm.
Last time I did this, I didn't do any of these extra quests.
Bilbo.
Well, thank you, RPG Rakuzen.
Giant golden serving dish. If you find it, please bring it to me, huh?
Well, you know, I have a playlist where I've read through the entirety of The Hobbit and the Fellowship of the Ring, and we just started the Two Towers. It's not just reading it because that wouldn't be copyright safe, but we talk about the lore and everything. So
Bilbo, I've heard tales of a giant.
So he wants the serving dish. Okay.
Bilbo, if you find the spears of King Blodorthan, please recover them.
King Blodorthan's spears. I didn't find any of these things the first time I did this.
Bilbo, if you find it, bring it back to me.
Girion was the last king of Dale. He was Bard's sort of ancestor, so that's the first one there that has any sort of real lore to it.
There's a giant ruby down there that belonged to my father, Rhyme. If you see it, please bring it to me.
Where are the rest of them? Oh, over here.
Find us a way out of here, Bilbo. I dislike this dragon's den.
For this, our city was destroyed and our kinsmen killed. That dragon is pure evil.
I can use them to heal myself. There's not any real combat in this level, so I'm not bothering to use them. The only way I'll be hurt is if I fall from a long way, or if I fail a lockpick.
Beautiful.
I hate to leave all this treasure to the dragon. I have heard tales of the wealth of Erebor. I never imagined.
So the issue here that I did last time is I just started heading down there like you're supposed to, and I thought you would find these things down there, but I believe they're up here. So let's go looking for them. There's a treasure chest over there at least. Uh-oh. What? Come on. That was almost pretty scary. This is sort of where the exit/entrance is. It's a very fast-paced one. Oh, that was a fail. I'll try it again. Now, I think if I head in this direction, there was one of those switches that I could hit to open up one of the treasure vaults. Yeah, I think the graphics do look good. I mean, some of the older... I'm going to be playing more of the Tolkien-based games on this channel. You know, some of them, like this holds up pretty well. I want to play Fellowship next. But, you know, when you start getting into, like, some of the movie-based games where they went for realism, the unfortunate thing about that is they don't hold up as well. There's certainly a lot of treasure around here. You know what? Let me actually heal myself a little bit here, just as I'm opening a lot of chests. Oh, a little late. Thank you for the sub. That was a fail. That was a tight one. That was difficult to get. Wow, there are a lot of chests around here. Uh-oh. Oh, I got poisoned. Alright. Try that again. Woo! The Wraith scared you so much? I'm trying to leave the Shire. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I haven't played that game, but I've heard a lot of people get stuck on the Ring Wraiths. And it's interesting because they well, you know, if you've ever read... Have you read the book? Oh, well, if you know about Tom Bombadil, then you've read the book. You know, the first half of Fellowship of the Ring is very horror. Oh.
No worm is deserving of this much beauty.
What would a dragon want with all this gold? Well, it's not as though he could spend it.
Excellent question, Ori, and I'm exactly the person that can answer that. So there's actually a reason that a dragon would hoard gold, despite the fact that he can't spend it. And it's due to a concept called Morgoth's Ring. So if you guys are familiar with The Hobbit, you might be familiar with The Lord of the Rings. You might know who Sauron is. Sauron was once a servant of an even bigger, badder villain called Morgoth, or at least that's what the elves called him. His real name was Melkor, and we would better know him as Satan. He is the ultimate evil in Arda. There's nothing worse than him. And just like Sauron poured all his malice and his evil and his essence into a ring, Morgoth did the same thing, but he did it with the planet. And that's why the planet of Arda, which Arda is just the Elvish word that means earth, that's why it's also called Morgoth's Ring, and that the power is not so evenly distributed. It's found more in some things than in others. And the one element, the Morgoth element that has the most evil in it, happens to be gold. So that's why you get the dragon sickness. That's why evil creatures will hoard gold, despite the fact that it's not actually useful for them. Orcs and trolls and dragons and such can't really go to just like a market and buy things with gold. There's no reason for them to. Nobody would put up with that. It really just has to do with the presence of the satanic energy in the gold. So a Balrog of Morgoth isn't so much a place, but from his power. Yeah, when they said Balrog of Morgoth, what they were saying is that the Balrogs were Morgoth's servants. I'm going to give you guys a quick primer on the creation of Arda and Middle-earth and all that. So God gathered all the angels together. The elves call God Iluvatar. They also call him Eru. Iluvatar means all-father. Eru means the one. They gathered all the angels together, and they sang a big concert, and then he gave the music form, and that's the universe, which was called Ea, which means what is. Hey there, Almighty Santa. Bilbo does have the bling, indeed. And then the Ainur, the angels, they descended into the earth to live there. One of them was Melkor. Now, during the music, though, Melkor sang a different genre of music. He sang themes that were discordant to the themes of God. And he created the concept of evil, the concept of discord. So what became of that is that some of the angels around him kind of got swept up in his music, and they became his followers, and that's where the Balrogs first came from. They're all fallen angels. No, that's fine. That's fine. I love talking about this stuff. It's the whole point of the channel. I mean, I'm playing a video game. It's not really a gaming channel, but I am playing a video game to talk about this stuff. So yes, it's sort of a corrupted substance. That's not to say that gold in and of itself is always evil, but that it has more of Morgoth in it than anything else. The element that has the least of him in it is water. But that's not to say that he's not at all in water. It's just that he's found less in water. I panicked there. This is a... Oh, alright. Alright, one more try. I should have snagged me some skeleton keys. Alright, never mind the treasure. Let me just find those switches. I need to get up higher. Looks like a spot that I can do that over here. Yeah, the basic idea of it is that he wasn't singing with Iluvatar, he was singing against Iluvatar. The problem is all the chains and everything that let me get higher are not there anymore, but... Oh, okay, Bilbo, chill. Alright. Looks like I might be able to get up here. Wait. There we go. Oh. It's very difficult to walk on coins. Okay, there's one of the treasures. I had opened this earlier. So that's the necklace of Girion. There's also the spears and the platter and the ruby. I'm not sure if I'd be able to find them, but I do remember finding the switch that opened that. Why don't they wear shoes? They don't need to. That's really all it comes down to. There's actually several types of hobbits. There's Fallowhides, Stoors, and Harfoots. And the Stoors are the ones that are the most like, hey, Mr. Rippus, they are the most like mortal men. So they sometimes wear boots. But generally speaking, they don't need to. They have very tough feet. Yeah, I don't know where any of those other... any of the other switches may be. Oh, there's a place I can climb. If I can get up there. There was actually going to be a scene in Rivendell where they were given boots to wear, but Tolkien didn't wind up using the scene. Can I jump through that? Oh, well. You know what? Never mind. Let's just go down and... Let's just find the switch that opens the bridge. Trying to do all this extra stuff is going to get me killed. Where are the dwarves now? I gotta find them. Well, it's a big circle, so if I keep going, I'll find them. Were the halflings in Dungeons & Dragons originally meant to be hobbits? As a matter of fact, yes. They were, in the first editions, they were called hobbits, and the Tolkien estate really didn't like that, and they got sued. There were also a few other things, like they used Ents, which they should not have used. And there was something else. It was 3 different things. There were hobbits, Ents, and one other thing that were they had to be altered. Let's save the game. I don't remember what the third thing was, though, off the top of my head. The same thing happened with Ultima. A lot of the old computer games basically tried to use a lot of Tolkien's terminology. Oh, that's right, the Balrogs, yes. I forget what Dungeons & Dragons called the Balrogs after that, but in Ultima they started calling them Balron, which, you know, a distinction without a difference, really. Oh god, I almost didn't reach that. Alright, so the goal is to get to the bottom without dying. Well, okay. Okay. Alright. Let me heal myself from that, but... okay. I'm not mad about it. Worked out fine. I mean, I'm kind of at the bottom, right? I'm assuming that this water's not deep because there's a save point there. Yeah, okay. There's some sort of switch around here that makes a bridge appear, and that will, I can move that. Get the, Oh, I think I know what I gotta do. I have to plug up the whirlpools, and that makes the water rise, and it will bring the bridge up. It was Balorn in Dungeons & Dragons? Okay. Yeah, I went out of my way to level up a lot in this. Balor, yeah. Oh, that's not the button I want. The thing is, pretty much as soon as you do this, the water starts to go up. Although it doesn't look like it is. Did that not work? Oh, it's not really on the whirlpool. There we go. I mean, it loaded. Okay, Bilbo! Go, go, go. Hobbits can't swim. The only hobbit we ever see swimming is Gollum. Oh, boy. I think the water is still rising, unfortunately. Actually, it looks like it's going to stop here because there's another hole. And TSR got mad at Squaresoft. Why? What did Squaresoft do that they got mad about it? Okay, yeah. So there's another whirlpool here. I'm going to save the game. I'm going to make a save state here. I remember the first time I played this, that this whole part was a nightmare. But so far, so good, right? Oh, beholders. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, it wasn't so much that... I know what you're talking about in Final Fantasy. It wasn't so much that they got mad, was that they assumed that they would have an issue. So they changed the artwork on the evil eye to look less like a beholder. Probably shouldn't have stopped for that money. Oh, this is a safe spot then. Alright. What's interesting though is that the way it is with Hobbit, because we can't really figure out whether or not Tolkien invented the word. You can write a story about creatures called hobbits if you want to. You could do that, but if they resemble his hobbits, the beer and the pipe smoking and the fuzzy feet and all that stuff, then you start to run into trouble. Alright. Oh, let go, Bilbo. Oh, I'm gonna, yeah. He wouldn't let go of the block. Oh, good thing I just saved it. Hobbits can't swim. It is very stressful, the rising water. But I guess I could just do it early instead of waiting for the water to catch up. Hitting these long jumps can be kind of a little bit stressful, to be honest. So you see that plank there, that's going to become the bridge. It's rising up with each time I do this. Bilbo, what the heck? There we go. He wasn't really trying. Still rising? Okay. I guess I'm going this way. I should have brought what's-his-face, wait, what am I doing? Save it. The necklace before I came up here, but I think you just get experience points for it. But as you see, that's my old save at the last level. There is a part during the Battle of Five Armies where you can just kill unlimited goblins. They don't ever stop respawning. And that will level you up as much as you want. Gotta find the sweet spot. There it is. It's the oh, wow, that happened quickly. It's the sweet spot when it loads. Alright. If I get on that, I can ride it all the way up. Yeah, it's just 2 lines. Any more than that, you can't. Alright, we're good. This looks like... You know what this looks like to me? It looks like the door from Titanic that they floated on at the end. He says, obviously, Bilbo's much smaller. He would be too small. Yeah, it's just 2 rows of these things that are not really hearts. This game is pretty much Zelda in all but name. I had a much harder time doing this the first time I streamed this. This was actually pretty easy. Hey, guys! Check it out. There's goblins around. I don't know why the sword always glows. It shouldn't always glow, but that's a video game. I can't complain that much. I think it's pretty much the end of the level, right? Talk to Thorin.
Good work, Bilbo. Follow me into the dwarf city of Erebor.
So Erebor literally means Lonely Mountain, in case you were wondering. But let's go. I remember there is a level in Erebor where you have to find specific items. And then after that, it should be the Battle of Five Armies. I know I didn't get anywhere near... Yeah, I didn't get anywhere near all the money in the level because there were so many chests to open. Alright. I didn't do all the quests. I didn't even bring the Necklace of Girion back to whichever dwarf wanted it. That's that level. I do have enough to top myself off on... Oh, not those. On potions here. And... oh my god, I do have skeleton keys. I didn't realize that. Aragorn's sword also glows? No, it does not. Okay, so the reason that Bilbo's sword Sting and Thorin's sword Orcrist and Gandalf's sword Glamdring, the reason they glow when there's goblins around is because they were made in a place called Gondolin, which was an elvish city in the First Age. If you've ever played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, there was a weapon in it called the Chrysagram, and that was named after. There's actually a lot of Tolkien references in that game. There was a mountain range that was completely circular. It was with a valley in the middle of it, and that was called the Chrysagram, and that's where Gondolin was. And they made these swords to glow with the elvish, fiery hatred of their enemy, the orcs, the goblins. Aragorn's sword was not made by the elves. It was actually made by a dwarf named Telchar. It was as old as Gondolin, but it wasn't made in Gondolin. It was made by a dwarf named Telchar, and it eventually made its way to Numenor, where it became Elendil's sword. And then, Elendil, when he died fighting Sauron, he fell on it, and it broke in half. And then it was called Narsil, by the way. And then when Aragorn reforged it, he renamed it Anduril, but it never glowed. There was a scene where it said in the Two Towers, actually, where it seemed to shine brightly because it was sort of catching the sun, and it was just to show you this is how majestic and amazing Aragorn actually is. But it doesn't have that blue fiery glow, around goblins or anything like that.